Have you ever wondered why the tiny strip of land called Gaza is at the center of the Israel-Hamas conflict? This region, smaller than the city of Detroit, is a focal point of tension, turmoil, and tragedy that reverberates globally. Its story is one of displacement, power struggles, and human resilience, a narrative that has been etched into the annals of history. In this video, we'll be peeling back the layers of the Israel-Hamas conflict, tracing its roots, and exploring its contemporary implications. We'll journey through the corridors of time to uncover the historical background that has shaped this conflict, and then we'll fast forward to the present day to explore how these historical tensions continue to manifest. Understanding the past is key to making sense of the present. It is through this lens that we can begin to comprehend the complexities of the Israel-Hamas conflict and why this small piece of land, known as Gaza, remains its epicenter. So, let's delve into the historical roots of this conflict to better understand why Gaza is at the heart of it. The roots of the Israel-Hamas conflict date back to the mid-20th century. A key event that set the stage for this conflict was the formation of the State of Israel in 1948. This momentous event, known as the Nakba or catastrophe by Palestinians, saw the displacement of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians from their homes. As Israel established itself, Palestinian refugees found themselves in several Arab countries, including Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, and within the newly formed Israel itself in regions like the West Bank and the Gaza Strip. The displacement of Palestinians and the subsequent formation of Israel ignited tensions in the region which have been smoldering ever since. Fast forward to 1987, amidst an atmosphere of ongoing tension and conflict, a new player emerged on the scene: Hamas. The birth of Hamas can be traced to the first Intifada or uprising, a period of intensified Israeli-Palestinian violence. Hamas, an acronym for Harakat al-Muqawama al-Islamiyya, or the Islamic Resistance Movement, rapidly gained support among Palestinians for its stance against Israel and its commitment to the establishment of a Palestinian state. Hamas's role in this conflict is significant. It's not just a political party, but also a social movement, and to some, a militant group. Its charter, penned in 1988, rejects any peaceful existence with the State of Israel, and this stance has been a driving force behind the Israel-Hamas conflict. Now, why is Gaza the epicenter of this conflict? The Gaza Strip, a small piece of land along the Mediterranean, has been under Israeli occupation since the Six-Day War of 1967. Gaza is densely populated, mostly by Palestinians, and is often described as the world's largest open-air prison. It's been the launching site of numerous Hamas-led attacks against Israel, leading to a crippling blockade by Israel and Egypt. Tensions escalated in the early 2000s with the Second Intifada or uprising. The situation further deteriorated in 2005, when Israel unilaterally disengaged from Gaza, only to have Hamas seize control 2 years later, leading to an even stricter blockade. This historical context sets the stage for understanding the present-day conflict between Israel and Hamas. Fast forward to the present day, the conflict between Israel and Hamas continues. The year 2021 saw a surge in violence, with a series of events leading to widespread destruction and loss of life. The conflict, which has persisted for decades, once again flared, causing international alarm and a renewed focus on the plight of the Palestinian people. In May 2021, President Joe Biden of the United States faced protests during a visit to Dearborn, Michigan. The Arab American community expressed their outrage over the administration's handling of the Israel-Hamas conflict. They called for Biden to denounce the disproportionate casualties in the Palestinian territories and reconsider the support provided to Israel. This incident highlighted the international implications of the conflict, with communities around the world taking notice and expressing their concerns. The impact on civilians in Gaza has been devastating. This was brought into sharp focus by the situation of Vivian Silva, a Canada-born Jewish humanitarian who has dedicated her life to helping Palestinians. In October 2023, Vivian went missing during a Hamas attack on Israel. It is feared that she may be dead or being held hostage by Hamas. This incident underscores the human cost of the conflict and the danger faced by those working towards peace. Vivian Silva was highly regarded by both Israelis and Palestinians for her work towards peace. She served as the executive director of the Negev Institute for Strategies of Peace and Development. Her disappearance has devastated many Palestinians who consider her a family member. The situation of Vivian Silva is a stark reminder of the human toll of the Israel-Hamas conflict. Another issue that has gained attention recently is the lack of high-resolution satellite imagery of Gaza. In 2020, a US regulation that limited the quality and availability of such images was lifted. However, as of May 2021, Google had not confirmed whether it would update Google Maps with high-resolution imagery of the Israel and Gaza region. The current conflict in Gaza highlights the need for such imagery, which can help researchers study environmental destruction, military bases, and other public interest issues. The situation in Gaza remains tense, reflecting the ongoing struggle between Israel and Hamas. The conflict continues to have a profound impact on the lives of the people living in the region. The international community is closely watching the developments with hopes of a peaceful resolution. Yet, as the case of Vivian Silva illustrates, the human cost of this conflict remains devastatingly high. The Israel-Hamas conflict is complex and deeply rooted in history. We've delved deeply into the origins of this conflict, tracing it back to the mid-20th century, when the establishment of the State of Israel led to the displacement of many Palestinians. This displacement, coupled with political and territorial disputes, has fueled the conflict for many decades. We also explored the present state of the conflict, highlighting recent events that have escalated tensions between Israel and Hamas. We talked about the role of international players, such as the United States, and the impact of their policies on the conflict's trajectory. We also touched on the plight of individuals, like the humanitarian Vivian Silva, who got caught up in the violence while working for peace and development. However, the crux of the conflict lies in Gaza, a small strip of land that has become the center stage for this ongoing strife. Gaza, home to nearly 2 million Palestinians, has faced the brunt of this conflict, with its citizens living under a blockade and frequent military incursions. The path to peace is fraught with challenges. It requires not just a cessation of hostilities, but also a comprehensive solution that addresses the root causes of the conflict, including territorial disputes and the right of return for Palestinian refugees. Above all, it requires the recognition of the rights and aspirations of all people involved. In a world that often seems divided along lines of power and ideology, it's easy to forget the human element of conflicts like the one between Israel and Hamas. But the true cost of this struggle is borne by individuals, those who live in fear, those who have lost loved ones, and those who yearn for a peaceful homeland. As we strive to understand this conflict, we must remember that at its center are people like those in Gaza who bear the brunt of this ongoing struggle.